Good morning, everybody. My name's Ken Countess. It's 11:30 Eastern Time. It's 8:30 on the West Coast. This is the next in our series of daily online events to help businesses just like yours and mine deal with this current environment that we just didn't expect ourselves to be in as recently as a month ago. And my goal here is to bring the business community together. I'm doing these events 7 days a week at this hour every day at this URL every day. So please join me and let's all learn together, right? I learn when people put info in the chat and Q&A boxes. I learn what kinds of things are challenging you right now. And of course, you'll learn the content that is on tap for each day. Each day is a different class. So if this is your first time joining me, know that every day it's a different topic. Please drop your questions and comments in the Q&A or the chat box. I'm monitoring both of them. I have 3 screens going on here. So if I look away, it's because I see that something else has come in. If you don't know where the Q&A or the chat box is, go ahead and move your mouse down to the bottom of the screen, and it'll reveal a black bar where you'll see Q&A, chat, and raise your hand. Go ahead and use those. Here's what I'm going to teach you in the next 20 minutes. It's the right way to sell on LinkedIn and other social media. The word sell is in quotes because the last thing you want to do the very first time you interact with someone is to have them think you're trying to sell them something right away. And people are especially guilty of this on LinkedIn. I have over 5,000 people following me on my first degree of LinkedIn connections. And I can't tell you how often I get people who connect with me and immediately they're pitching me. Oh my God, that's the great way for me to ignore them. And I realize that a lot of times that's automation that's doing that. A lot of people have bots or automation that as soon as someone connects with them and the system automatically sends out a pitch. Don't do that. Let me show you the right way to sell on LinkedIn. By the way, this is a 20-minute version of a 2 to 3 hour class that I teach on LinkedIn. My name's Ken Countess. I've got 40 years as a marketer, and I'm in my 20th year as a consultant, helping businesses and people just like you, just like me, do a better job of marketing their businesses. Previously, I was a senior marketing executive at 3 Fortune 100 companies. I spent over 2 decades at Motorola. I've worked at Marriott and Caremark and a company that's now owned by Honeywell and some others. We're in our 20th year as the Countess Group. What we do is we help you gain an unfair advantage over your competition. And we do that by teaching you how to target your marketing. Don't do spray and pray. That gets you frustrated. It's counterproductive. It costs you money. So don't do that. Hey, over my 40 years of helping businesses and nonprofits with communications and marketing strategies and tactics, it covers a broad range of activity, mostly teaching people how to target their marketing. We work with companies on lead generation, brand awareness, marketing automation, and these days especially, how to market in this crisis, whether it's marketing your product or service or responding to communications challenges. Are you ready? All right, let's go ahead and get started. This is how to use LinkedIn to help you generate more high-quality leads. And once again, it's just a 20-minute session. So let me tell you a little bit about LinkedIn. Here are some fast facts. By the way, if you haven't already done so, connect with me on LinkedIn. It's linkedin.com/in/my name, Ken Countess. LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. They have over 700 million members. There are still 1 million members a week joining LinkedIn every week. There are over 2 million groups on LinkedIn, and this is where you'll probably have your greatest success, is participating in LinkedIn groups. All 500 of the Fortune 500 are using LinkedIn. There are 4 million plus business pages. If you don't have your company page up there, that's something you do need to do. Now, LinkedIn is a search engine. We don't think of LinkedIn typically as a Google or a Bing or a Yahoo, but in fact, LinkedIn is indexed by the search engines. There were over 5 billion, billion with a B, searches done on LinkedIn last year. So it's all about your profile and getting all the right information, all the right keywords in your profile so that you can be found. So here's a screenshot of a recent version of my summary. I recently changed it. But the point of it is that your profile and your summary have to have the keywords that you want people to use to find you. And what that means is don't use techno speak. Use plain language. Use the language conversationally that people will use to find you, to have a conversation with you. That's the way your profile should appear. It's not like days past where you would simply cut and paste your resume up there. Don't do that. That's not going to give you the result that you need. Now, I've got a quick profile checklist for you. These are the kinds of things that you need to have in your LinkedIn profile. And if you like, I will send you a free LinkedIn profile cheat sheet. You can use the URL at the bottom of the screen. You can go ahead and use your smartphone and take a picture or do a quick screen grab of that URL, or send an email to me later today after this session is over, and I'll be happy to send you a link to this cheat sheet. So LinkedIn's about connections, and your goal, if you're new to LinkedIn, and it looks like we've got quite a few that are new to LinkedIn here, and it's great that you're taking time to be here to learn a little bit more about LinkedIn. The magic number is 500 connections. That's your goal. If you are not yet at the level of 500 first level connections, that's your homework. Now let's talk about social selling. Social selling is a new way to market yourself on LinkedIn. So we're going to do a quick review of what social selling is all about, and I'll give you some tips on how to improve your profile and raise your social selling score. I'll give you some tips and tricks, and if we have a few minutes at the end, use the Q&A box or the chat box, and let's have a conversation about the ways that you can get more out of LinkedIn. Social selling really is a new approach within the last few years that allows you to target new customers, establish relationships, which, by the way, does take time, building trust for you and your brand, and make connections through your network. It's really this is a good way of looking at it. This really is a good way of looking at it in that it's about awareness, people doing research on you or your company, giving you consideration, and then making a decision. Should they buy from you or somebody else? So selling certainly has gone social. Here's what it looks like. Social selling in a nutshell means that you're setting up your profile. That comes first. Then, of course, you build your network and then interact with those people that are joining your network, but don't pitch them. Nurture them as leads and then continue the process. So the steps in social selling are: refine your profile, share information in posts, be a great resource of information and education. Use LinkedIn to identify leads. And in our 2 to 3 hour workshop, I'll take you step by step through that. Listen to your prospects. When people are sending you messages on LinkedIn, respond. Connect with them at a deeper level. And then use LinkedIn to track your leads. So how do you use social selling? Well, your contacts will have trigger events. These are opportunities to strengthen your connection with them. Reach out when someone has a new job or position. Obviously, in this environment, we're probably not thinking too much about new jobs, but maybe people start up a new business. That would be a great reason for you to reconnect with them. Maybe they work for a company that's in the news. Maybe they add new content to their personal or business page. Maybe they comment on another post or an event, and that shows up in your newsfeed. Maybe they're joining a group that you're a member of. Welcome them to the group. And then if they're commenting in groups that you're a member of, add comments to their comments. So I mentioned the social selling index a few minutes ago. This is what it looks like. SSI, or the social selling index, has 4 components. One is to establish your personal brand. Second is, how often are you finding people to connect to? Number 3 is, are you engaging with them? And number 4, how well are you cultivating that relationship? Now, social selling index is on a score of 0 to 100. You can see if you're under 30, you're a laggard. You're engaged if you're in the 30 to 70 range, and 70 plus, wow, you're a leader, you're awesome. So what do? Well, you find out what your personal SSI score is. Go to linkedin.com/sales/SSI, and that will show you what your current SSI is. And by the way, it does change. So here's a real life social selling index example. I have 2 profiles on LinkedIn. I use one for the classes I teach, teaching people how to be more effective on LinkedIn. So this is the SSI, rather the profile that I don't use very much. And if you try to connect with me on LinkedIn, this is the one that has me, a picture of me with a black background behind me. This is the one that I don't use other than to demonstrate. And what you can see here is that my social selling index is a 10 out of 100. Not very good. The flip side is, this is the profile I look at every day. This is the one that has a grayish, bluish background. A score of 70, which is great. Now, if your score is anywhere between 60 and up, we'll say, you're in pretty good shape. If you're below 60, you've got some homework to do. So how do you improve your SSI score? You use it in a way that helps you create a professional brand. Update your profile. Add rich content. What is rich content? It's adding videos, adding white papers, adding attachments, documents, things that would be of value to someone connecting with you. And then if you're at a more advanced level using LinkedIn, you might want to do some searches for people to connect with, or use Sales Navigator. Now, we don't have a lot of time to go into LinkedIn Sales Navigator right now, but I can tell you that the more you use LinkedIn, the more you'll cherish the value of Sales Navigator. LinkedIn charges about $80 a month for it. You can get it for 70 or 80. It depends on whether you go with the annual or a monthly plan. And you can get a first month free. But that's a great tool to use. Engage with people with insights and build strong relationships. So some of the tips and tricks that will help you get a higher SSI score, making you more visible on LinkedIn, are to expand your network, post regularly, comment on other people's content, join groups. And how do you create that professional brand? Make sure your profile is complete. Use a conversational tone when you're posting on LinkedIn. Tell your story in the summary. Do it in first person. Don't use a resume summary, as I've mentioned. And add rich content. Decks, PowerPoint decks, for instance, videos, images, ebooks, and then showcase your skills and generate endorsements. Also, search for people using Lead Builder if you're using Sales Navigator. And if you don't have Sales Navigator, search on companies. Look at similar companies. Look at also viewed for current customers or through groups. Take a look at the details of potential prospects in your first and second and third degree networks. You've got good visibility on them. Obviously, the best visibility is in your first circle. You may find some great prospects there. If you are in business for yourself or working for a business, that's a great way to find prospects. If you're now looking for a job because of this new environment, it's a great place to find people who might be in a position to hire someone with your skill set. And then expand your reach, expand your search using lead recommendations in Sales Navigator. And take a look every day at those who are looking at your profile and engage with the relevant viewers. So how do you connect with people? Join groups that your target customers or companies belong to. Like or comment on their posts. With Sales Navigator, you can track their interest to know what to post, and then send an invitation to an event or to connect with you. Send a link to relevant e-guides or white papers in their field. You can start by posting thought leadership blogs related to your target customers' interests. And after you've built a relationship, ask for an online meeting. We're doing lots of online meetings these days, aren't we? And then stay connected by joining more groups and follow your prospects and customers as well as their competitors. Post relevant content that can help you become a trusted source or for insight. And then engage with your network by sharing and liking and commenting on posts. And reach your prospects with InMails. That's LinkedIn's closed email service. And then save leads and accounts and see real-time updates on your leads if you're using Sales Navigator. Connect with your network often to build strong relationships with your prospects and after introductions. But focus on connecting to the senior level people in your network, and then with your prospects and at customer companies. Periodically, connect with your contacts. I posted today's event on something new called LinkedIn Events. That's a great way to see who's in your network if you haven't looked at the numbers of people in your network recently. As I mentioned, I've got 5,000 people in mind, and I invited 50 of them to attend today's event. And then make a plan. How many people will you reach out to each day? 3, 10, 20? Here's your homework. Capture your SSI score from today and do one tactic to raise that number by at least 1 point. Then capture your SSI score next week and share it with me. Send me an email. Send it to kc@thecountessgroup.com. Let's talk about then how you're doing. Now, if you would like to get this in your email, send me an email and say, hey, I'd like to get a copy of the stuff you presented. And what I'll do is I'll send you a replay to today's event. You can also get a copy of this slide if you send me an email. Okay, let me just touch on Sales Navigator. If you go to Sales Navigator within LinkedIn, you'll be able to see exactly what's going on, not only with your own profile, but with the profiles of your connections. You'll be able to see people in greater detail by checking out Sales Navigator. It really is an awesome tool. Among the things you can do in Navigator are search for leads and search for accounts. You could do it by geography. You can do it by industry. You can do it by company size. You can do it by function within an organization, or even seniority level. Maybe you only want to go after the C-level people at your prospect companies. And then you can save several different accounts. That's what LinkedIn calls it. They're actually companies. So you can track what's going on at each of those companies. So to summarize, and once again, this is a 20-minute session. We normally do a 3-hour event. To summarize, LinkedIn's got nearly 700 million members, over 5 billion searches. By the way, I'm looking at another screen here because I want to launch another poll for you, which is this one. It didn't pop up yet. Let's see. Let's see if we can do this again. Let's end the poll and relaunch that poll. There we go. Okay. So let me know what you thought about this session so far. There are over 5 billion searches done annually. There are 2 million groups on LinkedIn, 4 million companies. You need to be there with your company. Be sure that you're using Sales Navigator and combine email with LinkedIn for maximum results. Why? Because not everybody checks LinkedIn every day. I know I don't. As much as I'd like to think that I do, I don't. Most people do not. And so that being the case, you really want to combine reaching out to people with email in addition to what you do on LinkedIn, because the data is very, very clear. 99% of people are checking email every day. It's a way smaller percentage of people that check LinkedIn. So if you want to stay in touch with your LinkedIn connections, be sure to email them. The URL that I have down there at the bottom of the screen for completelyfreetrial.com is for Constant Contact. And we'll give you free training on how to use it. So my message to you is build your relationships. Spend time on LinkedIn to absorb what you've seen today. And call me if you have questions. Connect with me on LinkedIn if you haven't already done so. Very simply, when you get to LinkedIn, just type in my name, Ken Countess, and I'll show up. Send me an invitation to connect. Be sure you add a personalized note so I know that you attended this session. Write a recommendation for me. I'll reciprocate. Recommendations are like testimonials. They're like reviews on Amazon. Okay, so write a recommendation. And then to help build your SSI score, you can check out our LinkedIn Jumpstart online class. If you go to the URL you see on screen, and once again, if you send me an email, I'll send you a link so you can go check it out. There's a lot of free content up there. You can get previews. You can see what kind of content we put up there, all with the goal of helping you to be better at using LinkedIn. So go to bit.ly/LinkedIn Jumpstart, and capitalization counts. LinkedIn Jumpstart. And this is what the cheat sheet looks like, by the way. You can have that free. Just shoot me an email. I'll be happy to send you a link to be able to download that cheat sheet. It shows you in each section of LinkedIn exactly what you need to do to build your profile in the correct way. And as I mentioned before, use email marketing to help you stay in touch with your clients and prospects and leads and companies you're interested in. Go to completelyfreetrial.com. And it's free for 60 days. There's no reason not to do it. And there's no credit card needed either. And then if you need a website too, sign up for the free trial. Check it out, see if it works for you. And then when you become a paid subscriber of Constant Contact, I can give you a free website builder that saves you $240 a year. All right, so we're ready to go into Q&A. So here's how we do this. You go into the Q&A box or the chat box. If you're not sure where they are, move your mouse to the bottom of your screen, and that will reveal the Q&A box and the chat box, and also a way to raise your hand. And so I'll be checking for the chat and Q&A areas. I'll be looking over at another screen here in just a minute so that I can see what you've got on your mind. Email me to get the links to the handouts in the presentation. You'll also be able to access a replay of this event. So send that email to me at info@thecountessgroup.com. info@thecountessgroup.com. My name's Ken Countess. I'm Managing Director of the Countess Group. We help you gain an unfair advantage over your competition, whether that's on LinkedIn, on the web, doing social media, your website, PR, just about anything you need to market your business, we can help you with. We're a full service marketing consultancy. Why would you hire us? We're a team of over 30 people with over 40 years of marketing experience. you probably can use our help. And we can coach you or we can do it for you. Here's our contact information. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Our website is up there, of course. You can access our podcast there as well. There are over 60 episodes of our podcast that you can access from our website. So again, connect with me on LinkedIn. It's my name is what you want to plug in the search bar. Connect with us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/The Countess Group. There are 6,000 people following us there. On Instagram, it's Ken Countess Marketing. So once again, we can help businesses just like yours gain an unfair advantage over your competition. Be sure that you take time to absorb and practice what you've seen today, and then join me later today. This is a unique day. I'm doing 2 webinars today. So the next one's at 2 in the afternoon Eastern time, 11 in the morning California time. I'm doing these half-hour sessions at 11:30 Eastern, 7 days a week. So time for Q&A. Check out our website to sign up for our other upcoming events. You can go to thecountessgroup.com and look for the upcoming events tab. Hey, this is Ken Countess, and well, I do this every morning. We do it on Zoom and stream it also on Facebook Live. If you have something you'd like me to cover, go ahead and send it in. Let me know what you'd like me to do for you. This is all in response to the pandemic. Businesses have been hurt. I want to help. So please join me tomorrow morning. Join the rest of the crowd. We'll see you then. Okay, so while you were watching me on a recorded promo, I was looking at the website, at our chat and Q&A box. And so let's see, we have Andrea says, are we talking about personal LinkedIn or business LinkedIn? Yes and yes. Most of it was talking personal and company pages. The thing is, the strategy is the same for both. You want to be actively posting on your business page. You're looking to attract more followers to your business page, and you do that by posting on your personal page and asking people to follow your company page. Let them know you're out there. When you're in LinkedIn groups, post your business page. That's the way people will know who you are and what company you're with. Michael says, hey, Ken, enjoyed the session. Here's a shout out from the past Motorola plantation from the old days. I'll drop you an email. Great to hear from you, Michael. Thanks for being here today. Let's see. Mumtaz says, Ken, thanks for doing this. Found it beneficial more than the SCORE event that I attended. Well, good. My name is Taz, gave me his email address and would like to request today's presentation. Absolutely. Send me an email and I'll be happy to do that. Ron asks, what's a deck? That's these slides that you've been watching. You'll see them on a replay. I won't be sending out the entire deck as a handout, but rather you can watch this again as often as you like and freeze it on the sections that you are most interested in. Let's see, what else do we have coming in here? How different is it to use Facebook and others instead of LinkedIn? Eunice, the answer to that question is it's really dependent upon your business. If you're a consumer business, then you want to spend time on Facebook. You might, depending on the demographic, meaning the age of people that you're working with, you may want to also use Instagram. You might want to use Pinterest. You might want to use Twitter. So it's really all dependent upon the demographic of the people you're trying to reach. LinkedIn, for the most part, is thought of as a business-to-business social media tool. Not exclusively, but that's where you'll find the bulk of the activity. Facebook tends to be more consumer, as does Instagram. But if you've attended one of my classes in the live workshops, for example, one of the things I talk about is that on Instagram, for instance, 60% of people on Instagram are finding new products and services to buy there. So best bet, Eunice, is send me an email. Let's set up a time to chat, and let's have a conversation about how we can help you navigate through what the best social media channel will be for you. Hope that helps. For those of you who would like to set up a call, go ahead and use the URL that you see on screen right now. And that will allow you to find a 15-minute spot on my calendar that works for you. One 15-minute free consultation per attendee, by the way. After that free 15-minute consultation, then you could decide if you'd like to hire us to do some more work for you. You can give me a call at this number. It's 407-242-4200. I encourage you to join me for another webinar. Once again, there'll be another one later in the day today, 2 o'clock Eastern time, totally different subject, and we're doing these 30-minute events 7 days a week. So it's the countessgroup.com/upcoming-events. Just go to our website, and which is thecountessgroup.com, and navigate through there. You'll find a lot of stuff that will be very helpful to you. Okay, more stuff is coming in. Let's see. Terrence says patience is key. Yes. Lynn says, if I already have 2,700 people on my personal page, should I be setting up a business page or just continue the personal page, which acts as my business page? Lynn, a lot of people use the personal page for business. Nothing wrong with doing that. However, once again, it depends on the type of business that you're in. And it also depends upon what size fish you're trying to catch. For the bigger companies, a company page makes a lot of sense. If you are an individual working with individuals, then the personal page should serve you just fine. But as I've mentioned to a couple of others, reach out to me, set up that free 15-minute consult, and let's talk about ways that you can use LinkedIn most effectively. All right, so I think that'll do it. I don't see anything else coming in. So that being the case, let's close out this session. I want to say thank you, everybody, for joining me today. I hope that you got a lot out of it. I hope that you'll join me again later in the day today being Thursday, April 2nd, 2020. I hope you'll join me later in the day and again over the next several days at 11:30 Eastern. 11:30 Eastern. Here we go. Join me again at 11:30 Eastern and 8:30 Pacific. I hope to see you again really, really soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.